Good morning, everyone. It is a wild day in this White House because I have a new puppy who's trying to pester the heck out of me. But we're going to roll anyway. So this is Ann White. I am the founder of the Creating Calm Network and the co-host of Notes from Spirit. And the Spirit Scribe is Nadya Schubert. Good morning, Nadya. And how are you this beautiful morning?
I'm just wonderful this beautiful morning. I have one dog quiet this morning and the other one in another room quiet this morning. They kind of got all their stuff out, so I'm very happy. And I'm very happy that I've decided, since Riley is such a cute little puppy giving you all kinds of responsibilities, and to not adopt a dog that I was thinking about adopting. I feel very good about that. So this is a good morning for me. It was something I was thinking about for quite a while.
Sometimes when our lives are in order, we complicate them. So yeah, my new puppy had me up till 4 in the morning, and now we think it's time for fun and games too. And it's time for Notes from Spirit.
Right.
And this Note from Spirit is a more intense note. It's one they said that it is very much needed for us to hear this note, and it is about the chaos in the whole world today. The wars, the disparity of income, the disparity of power. So obviously, on our material world, Spirit knows what's going on for us. And we're going to get right into the note and then find the pearls to talk about. So Nadya, if you would start, this is the note of July 20th about the state of the world today.
Yes. Thank you for being with us this morning. It has been some time that we have worked together to bring more joy to the world and less anger and anguish. We are watching the eruption of all that is going on in your world of today, and feel these writings are much needed, more so than our earlier writings, as everything in the world has accelerated to a point of mass confusion. No matter what side you're on, the peoples of the world, yet it is beginning to seem no matter what side you are on, the peoples of the world, yet it is beginning to seem like a massive amount of them are either being used or abused, and the rest are living with unanswered questions. We feel your hopelessness and your frustration and want you to know that surrounding yourself with your own healing words each and every day, as well as feeling love for yourself, no matter what is happening around you, will help to keep you on track, on the path that you are meant to walk. And once you have achieved that ability to do for yourself, the need to do the same for others is expanding each and every day. Yes, the world is in turmoil, for turmoil in itself never leaves. It may hibernate for some time, yet it is like a volcano that sleeps until it's awakened from pressures within. As society builds in numbers and in different quadrants of the world, it is expected that there will be, and is now, that pressure that will continue to be, and is, at this moment, either smoking or fuming its riotous head everywhere it can, to cause everything from irritation to war, a wide spread of action. Yes, and left unchecked will continue to grow and spread like your cancers, causing mass destruction as well as dwindling societies that were once leaders in the world. Words in themselves, from the many or the few, are no longer desirable to strengthen the bonds of those who are dissatisfied. There is more a need for universal thoughts to pervade, almost in unison, to bring about a world-class Olympian strength of character change. We understand this would be a huge undertaking and know the reality of this is probably nil. Yet all must be on board your fast train that you are on, so that you will be able to change the direction in your train before it runs aground. We do not mean to be maudlin. We are of the agreement that these words need to be read, and that even the smallest thing you can do is big. That even the smallest thing each and every one of you can do is a seed. That if taken care of daily, attending to it daily, thinking about it daily, will grow will grow and blossom, sending its radiance out to the world, connecting with all the other radiating presence in the world as it hovers like a scented cloud over all the cities and countries to bring awareness of how peace feels, how you don't have to be of the same thought process in the book of knowledge. You just want to be under its cover, bound together with a unified respect for your differences and how you can turn them into an easier flow of energy that will allow you to accept the differences in your life without the need for destroying the earth as well as yourselves. It is harsh, yes, yet we bring this to you with our love and respect for the differences in your thoughts, helping you to face the issues, whether they affect you at this moment or not. Hopefully you will stay on your course towards grasping for the golden ring that will bring you closer to the knowing. It just takes one step to begin and to continue those steps, as those steps never end. Always remember that we are with you always, sending you love and acceptance for who you truly are.
Powerful, powerful.
And at the end, I see it says that at the end of this writing, when I was coming out, I saw the ring of radiance hovering over the earth, and the light was radiating from the ring. That's interesting.
Do you remember that?
Pardon?
You remember that?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and for those of you who are new to this program, Nadya writes in a complete trance. So these are all very new to her because she's in a trance as she's writing it. It's called automatic writing. Before we get into the heart of this writing, there were two things that that I saw with my intellectual mind as opposed to my spirit mind. Things that Spirit has never done in a writing to you. There were the use of the word yes. They begin this thought, yes, the world is in turmoil, and yes, left unchecked, it will continue to grow. So I've never seen them use that as either a punctuation or an emphasis before.
Right, I think they were emphatic. That was their way of being emphatic. Yes, like you need to look at this. Yes. When I read it now, I look at it and I say, this is amazing information and an amazing awareness in a gentle way of really tapping into what's going on in the world and not being fearful about it, because we know that we can do something even for ourselves to keep us more in balance and less hysterical, so to speak. Because everyone I talk to around me that watches the news or reads the papers is so dissatisfied and so frustrated, and they get up in the morning and they hear it and they go to bed at night and they hear the same thing. And there's no seeming end to it. It just continues to roll from one to another day like a link. It just doesn't break. So what do you do in order to write it for yourself? As they said, you need to protect yourself every day.
Yeah, and again, that was with emphasis, because when they said that about you need to surround yourself with your own healing words each and every day, as well as feeling love for yourself no matter what is happening around you, will keep you on track that you're meant to walk. And they said that we had to do this every day,
right.
Expanding each and every day. So I think they put more emphasis on that too. You don't just do it once. It needs to be a practice of love.
And doesn't it help to, let's say, protect yourself, excuse me, to keep you in that frame of mind, so that when you go out into the world, whatever your responsibilities are or errands are for the day, that kind of persona that you've developed for yourself is going to emanate out to other people, where they may be able to feel that and to come in contact with some of their own just by feeling yours or mine, or it's like that seed, and then little by little by little it can spread. Pay it forward.
Right, and I think, that was the part that I initially read, and I always talk about it as an epidemic of love or an epidemic of goodness, and how they're saying that as we get ourselves together, we will connect with other light beings and we will spread that. But in reading it today, or hearing you say it today, what I picked up on is at the beginning they said, as well as feeling the love for yourself. So they talk about the love for yourself, and then they say it again. We are sending you love and acceptance for who you truly are. That was a little bit of a different ending, because they say we are with you always, we love you always, but we are loving you for who you truly are. So there is a part of loving ourselves entirely, and then loving each other regardless of our differences. And I think that was a point that resonated with you. We were talking a little bit before we started broadcasting. One of the things I always say is that we need to understand our differences and respect our differences, but not to put battlegrounds and fences with them. How did it resonate with you when they said about allow us to accept the differences in your life without the need for destroying the earth as well as ourselves?
Well, first I was thinking about what would make us want to do that. What would make us not want to listen to the differences from other people? Because to me, that's the way I've always learned about things. Mm-hmm. I mean, if I lived with everybody that was like myself, how would I grow? Yeah. So I think that I felt at that time growing up that if people were different, like I was different, it seemed like there was more of a jealousy because I was doing something they may want to do, but they couldn't because they needed to be part of the group. Everyone had to be the same, look the same, act the same, growing up. But it seemed to carry over even as an adult. In offices, there's a very subtle political system. If you're not on one side, then you're out of it. You know, you're out of the picture. You're out of the group. So to me, it seems that the more secure a person is, the more they look towards that diversity as enjoyment, as something to learn from, and not to target as an enemy. Mm-hmm. And I think we do that in relationships. Whether you're married or you have a partner or you have good friends can pass on the judgment end and embrace what your good friend is telling you, whether you believe in it or not. It's a point of interest to think about. And I think that all can come about if there's trust in relationships. If you trust a person, you can share who you are, truly who you are, and not be afraid that they're not going to want to be with you anymore, or they're not going to want to talk to you or tell you anything. And it all comes, I think it starts from trust. So what happened to trust in the world is what I'm saying.
Yeah, trust and, being personally grounded. I think that's the other part, and that's why, the more we feel love for ourselves, the more we are healing ourselves, the more grounded we will be, the more open we'll be to embrace the diversity with others. But I was thinking about hatred. Where does hatred come from? And I think it comes from fear, and I think it comes from go back to that trust issue of the unknown. If we don't know something, we push it away. So maybe it's being open to learning about differences as well as trust.
Yes, so how do we get open? Because we're ready to tarnish a relationship immediately if it's something they don't want to hear or that's different than you're thinking. They're thinking. So how do you blend who you are with others that are not exactly who you are? Or can you really be with those people? Is it a good comfort level for you? I mean, I always thought growing up that if I'm in with a group that's so different than I am, where's my comfort level? Why do I need to be with them? So I might be with them once or twice, and then I leave because it's not comfortable. You do want some kind of a unified core in your group, where you're kind of on the same path in different ways, but on the same path. So how do you get there? How do you share who you are? Like last night I had a dinner party. The writing I wrote yesterday was about confirmation and how they come through. And it was a topic of conversation at the table. I said, I have a writing, and I never do this in groups like a dinner party. I will not read my writing. And I read my writing, and half of the group said, oh, I can't go there. It's just too much for me. I just can't think about all that. And the other half said, that's kind of what I was thinking. So which really was interesting because I didn't even think they thought about it. So, but they never knew where to bring it up, with whom or when and all that stuff. So they were in a safe place last night, and they shared who they were. I thought that was a beautiful thing. It made me feel...
And those who you didn't agree with, you didn't make them get up and leave without their dinner. It was embracing differences.
Right, exactly. But it was a good topic for the table, but for a very short period of time because we had two separate groups that really didn't want to get together on this point of view. So what did that show me? Did I push it? No, I thought I would bring it out as an answer to some of their questions because Spirit would write it better than I could say it. And it was like an experiment. I just wanted to see what would happen. Now I'm not sure I will do that again because we weren't all on the same path. I just didn't realize that at the time.
Yeah, but part of it was that you were comfortable in yourself to share that part of yourself.
I was.
And, when we look at this writing, we ask the question, what to do in this chaotic world? What to do? And it looks like they've given us a few pointers. So the takeaways from this writing are the fact that we need to surround ourselves with healing words each and every day and make that a practice. And they don't say this, but I'm almost wondering if it's when you surround yourself with healing words, you don't get involved in the negative. So in other words, you shouldn't be watching it on TV. You probably shouldn't be discussing it. So it may be that is part of how you surround yourself in this love aura or this healing. So I don't know if it would be that far. I don't know what you think about not exposing yourself to all of the negative. It's important that we don't live we still have to live in this material world. So we're still part of it, but how do we really surround ourselves with, does it say, I think, just healing words. So right. I'm thinking it should be positive, loving words. What do you think? Would you think it means don't watch the news and don't get involved in all of the hatred? Or
I like to watch my 5 minutes of news, and I choose two different stations because they have two different directions that they're going on the same subject matter. And then
so
I
you're watching the turmoil. Then what do? You've just now absorbed, even though it's 5 minutes of turmoil and chaos.
Well, because I want to know what part of the world is doing what. I mean, I want to at least sound intelligent if the conversation comes up or have an opinion, but I don't push it. I used to push it and talk about it and make people understand. Make people understand, which is not something anyone can do unless you're a dictator. So I didn't want to come off looking like a dictator, right? You're in my house, you're going to listen. But no, I don't do that anymore. But I do have somewhat of an awareness of what's going on in the world, unlike Peter, who lives, breathes, and eats what's going on in the world, and it's beginning to affect him in a lot of ways because it's like a link. It builds
like a cancer. It's like a cancer.
Right. Well, it builds anxiety, then it builds frustration, and then there's a way of like, well, I can't do anything about it, so who am I? How important am I if I can't do anything about it? And it goes back to that anxiety. It just keeps looping, and it doesn't go anywhere. So what can I do? Watch it, and I walk away knowing what's going on in the world, and I try to entertain myself with other things that feel very comfortable. I mean, there's really nothing I can do personally, and yet I would love to do. I grew up always wanting to do something to change the world. I know those words are really used all the time, but I really wanted to make a difference in the world. And I decided that the world could be just me and 10 other people around me. That's my world.
Yeah, what I'm thinking.
My world. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. You're just rolling today. Go ahead.
No, I'm done.
I love you.
This was a great writing. I didn't realize how really great it was when I wrote it until I know
when Nadia first got it, she goes, "Oh, it's just a writing about politics." And then we looked at it. I said, "I don't think so." What I was thinking is, though, hatred and chaos are also energies. And the more we put our energies in it, the more we expand the power of wars and greed and chaos. So one of the things that I have been thinking of and even trying to implement is on that source of all knowledge, Facebook. People put in, stand up against this and fight against that. And I'm thinking that's even giving it energy. So I've been trying to keep my thoughts in a very positive and loving way, wrapping chaos in love and in light without even fighting for peace. How do you fight for peace? I think you do it through love, through loving yourself. As they were saying, the more you are grounded in love, the more you can pay it forward and keep loving, like those little seeds. So I guess one of the seeds I've been trying to plant is to keep my thoughts in a loving way, even around the globe. You know, with the chaos in Israel and Gaza, just putting light on it and trying to do it with love without judgment, which is very hard, but it's also a possibility. So it's one of those seeds of binding us together in a unified respect for our differences. And it says how you can turn them into an easier flow of energy that will allow you to accept differences in your life without destroying the earth and yourself. So I'm just thinking that it's to keep a positive flow of energy is a good practice for our seed.
Well, and you know, if I remember, group, as they say, universal thoughts, there's a need for universal thoughts, even if it's you and it's I and maybe others in our own personal groups have that kind of thinking and it emanates out. Isn't there power in that group kind of psychology or group effort like they had in Washington, D.C., or that lowered crime, or that they've done around the world at a certain time so that everybody was thinking positively and good things were happening, or there was peace even for a moment. So there is.
Crime rate went down. Yeah.
What is it?
The crime rate went down in that one experiment.
Right. But even around the world, I remember, like 10 years ago, they used to have these group efforts around the world where it would go online, and you'd see at a certain time we were all going to do a positive prayer. And at first I thought it was ludicrous. I mean, what is it? But it did make a difference in different parts of the world. I mean, they did post what was going on, and it seemed to settle down and quiet at that time. And then, I mean, you can't be on 24 hours a day. But it just showed. I don't know what the word is. I know they used to call that mass hysteria.
The other way, yeah. You know, there's that doctor named Larry Dossey who did an experiment, and I've talked to you about it before, Nadia, where he had a group of people in America praying for a group of women with breast cancer. I believe it was Korea. And in Korea, these women were divided into two groups. They both had breast cancer. One was prayed for, one was not. They didn't know they were being prayed for. And it turned out that those who were being prayed for from across the globe had better healing, less toxicity, better recovery rates. So that shows that the energy of prayer or group thought it's powerful. And that's why I'm going to just go to this one last part. I know we're running out of time, but it says, even the smallest thing you can do is big. That even the smallest thing each and every one of you can do is a seed. That, if taken daily, attended to daily, thinking about it daily, 3 times we hit that, will grow and blossom, sending its radiance out to the world, connecting with all other radiating presence in the world as it hovers like a scented cloud over all the cities and the countries to bring the awareness of how peace feels. Wow, Nadia.
Amazing. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Then you have the vision of the cloud.
Yeah.
We're coming out of it, that
Right.
a ring of radiance hovering over the earth and the light radiating from the ring.
I got a little bit of chills, so I know I probably saw it, but I'm so zoned and it was so strong, but I was like almost in the light. So that part I remember. I was like in light. It was powerful. And then I finally came out. Why they showed it to me, I don't know, because they don't usually do that, but they did. And it was beautiful. And you felt love, pure, unadulterated love. Anyway, yeah, it's starting to come back.
Very, it's perfect for this time of chaos that we're in this globe.
I so enjoy working with you. Together, I think we make a great team as far as your higher awareness explaining what I bring to the table. Because I know I couldn't do this myself ever. And how you even highlight some of the words and the sentences and how poignant they really are. It stands out like a light bulb, it opens up. The way you lay it out, the way you talk about it. I really am very, 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 just, I don't know what words to use, very grateful that this has all happened. between us, so that it's not just for us, but for whoever is listening and whoever can just feel this, what we feel, and then just pay it forward. It's not hard. It doesn't cost anything. It's just so simple, but it's just so important. So important.
And, think of Spirit, because they are there trying to get these messages out. And that's why very often they'll say, they're so happy to be with you. They really want us to get the messages out so they can be read, so these words can get out. So, but it's interesting that they feel this need to guide us and to help us feel more peaceful and balanced in all of this, what do they call it, the frustrations and the chaos of this day. So I think Spirit is very grateful that you are still writing with them, and they have this way to get these messages out.
Yeah. And I am grateful that they chose me to do it. So all together, the three of us will hopefully make a difference for everybody, and hopefully the people that are listening enjoy these writings and think about a few things that they may not think about normally, and talk about them, with their families, friends, their kids, whatever.
And I'm teasing Nadya because when she says she's grateful that Spirit chose her, and there are days you're not. Days that you struggle and fight with your spirit guides. You're an ornery one sometimes with those guides of yours.
Yeah, but they still come back. They still come back. We are with you always. That's what they say.
With love.
With love.
And for those of you who would like more, Nadya does have 3 books that are available on Amazon. The first 2 are earlier writings from about 14 years ago, very gentle. It's a way of almost Spirit is courting by bringing up things that are going on in the world, like swans on a bay or children on a picnic, things like that. And those books are We Are With You Always with Love, and We Are Truth, We Are Love, We Are You. The book from about a year ago, those writings, is called Notes from Spirit, and that too is available. And right now we're working on a workbook with these writings to kind of open them up, because for people who just step into these writings, it's overpowering. You feel the vibration, you feel the energy, but in this workbook we're breaking it up and highlighting certain things and giving questions to ponder. So if you would like to be part of that project, you can email me at Ann, at creatingcalmnetwork.com, and we'll hook you up to that project as well, because it's just a way of bringing you these messages in a way that we can understand as humans. So Nadya, have a beautiful day, and my nighttime dog who kept me up all night is probably napping so we can get ready for tonight. It's all good.
Yes, it is all good. And thank you very much, Ann. Thank you for being in my life, and thank you for having the show.
And thank you. And everybody who's watching, have a great week whenever you watch, and just bring blessings, plant your seed of love, and we'll go from there. Take care. Bye-bye.